Hey everyone, it's Kim with Simply Fit. Welcome to your gentle practice that's going to help ease low back pain and also to open up tight hips. So let's begin with a moment of mindfulness. You can just lie down or be seated like I am, sitting comfortably, either with legs crossed or whatever position works for you. You can take a soft gaze by gently, mostly closing your eyes and just focusing and turning inward, or close your eyes altogether. And as we begin our practice together, let's focus on the purpose of yoga, the goal of yoga. Remembering that the goal of yoga is not the pose. The goal is not to necessarily stand on your head or become super bendy. But the goal of yoga is to create space. Space where we were once stuck. To unveil layers of protection that we've built in our bodies and around our hearts. And even to appreciate our bodies just as they are, being aware of the mind and the noise that it creates around our belief systems. So right now, making peace with who we are and creating space. Thank yourself for showing up and making time for yourself. You can open up your eyes and we'll start lying down on our mats. So you can just swing the legs around, finding a position lying down on your mat. And we can just settle here comfortably. We're just wiggling the hips for a moment to make sure that everything feels good and feels right. And then slide your feet in a little bit closer to your body. You can take your arms out and open to a T and slowly lower the knees over towards one side, keeping your shoulders grounded. And then lift the knees up and over to the other side. You might feel a little bit of releasing in the spine, just waking it up and creating space. So a couple of those knee rocks side to side at your own pace. And the goal of this practice is really very gentle, so most of the time you can keep your eyes closed and just listen to my voice. But if you're only watching, definitely join in. And once you feel even, let's begin by opening up those hips. So placing the arms down by your sides, you'll just take one leg, place the ankle over your knee, and gently push out on the inside of that knee. Maybe you can't even fully extend your arm, but you can just gently press and relax into this shape. Gentle sway side to side, so not a completely still practice, just gentle movements. And then you can open up your arms and lower your knees, both legs, over towards that grounded foot side. Take your gaze opposite your knee. Maybe you can even get that crossed ankle, the foot all the way down to the floor. Fun fact, my foot is not touching the floor, so give yourself grace. We show up exactly as we are. Sometimes we have tight spots, some of us have injuries, just tightness over time. And then moving back through center, we will change sides. So ground your other foot, plant your other foot into your mat. Take your other ankle over your knee. Gently press on the outside of that knee, finding some release. And breathe into it, breathing in through your nose. And out through your nose. Pausing in this stillness, appreciating that we can be here. And that even if things are tight, you made the right decision. Take a little tip side to side with your hips. And then you can release your arms. You can place them by your sides or just get them out of your way so you can slowly tip your foot over towards the other direction. And maybe taking your gaze away from those knees for just a little bit more. Taking a deeper twist. Focusing your attention. Couple breaths here, and then lifting back through center. We're going to extend our legs all the way out onto your mat. Now wiggle through your hips, get nice and flat. Extend your right foot over to the right corner of your mat. Lift your left foot up and cross your left ankle over your right knee. You can take just your hands to your head and wiggle your shoulders to twist in the opposite direction, so you're making kind of a banana shape on your mat. If you'd like to extend your arms up, you can hold onto your wrist, trying to keep your shoulders grounded. So opening up through the side of that hip, your TFL area, which is just above that hip bone, that tender spot that gets really tight. Gently release, extending your left foot to the left corner of your mat. Right ankle reaches over, wiggle your shoulders in the other direction. Either keeping your hands behind your head or just gently relax, or even holding onto that wrist. Never forcing, just allowing these shapes. And if you notice yourself tightening up, clenching, holding on, remind yourself to relax. So relax your glutes, relax your shoulders, even letting your jaw relax. And gently release that stretch. I'm going to slide your feet in and make your way to a little ball pose, lifting your knees up, peeling your tailbone up off the mat. Rock side to side. You can even lift your head and shoulders if that feels good. And before changing positions, we're going to take 2 more spinal twists. So this time, place your feet down on the mat. And you'll lift your left knee over the right so that your knees are crossed, so that there's not much space in between. You can open your arms to that T and lower your knees over so that your bottom knee is encouraging, kind of tucked over the calf, and encouraging that top knee into a little bit deeper of a twist. At any time that these shapes don't feel right, or you're just not sure, you can take any version of the shape. So you can uncross your knees, you're still getting the benefit. Slowly lift up through center, uncross, and we will change sides. So then cross the right knee over the left and lower the knees over to the left. You have to live in your body. So make sure that everything that you do feels good, that everything you do is benefiting you. And this just gently come through center. Uncross your legs. We're just going to wiggle around over onto our bellies. So we're going to take a little bit of a different shape. So just finding our way onto our mats in a gentle sphinx shape right here. Letting the legs extend out nice and long. Relax your legs. Think long through the crown of your head and through your neck and through your spine. Just pressing through your forearms and elbows. And take a body scan from the crown of your head, moving down your neck, one long line, to your low back. Relax your glutes. Relax your quadriceps. And now, after relaxing into this shape, we're going to find some muscular engagement. So we're going to tighten through those muscles and use them just a little bit. Same exact shape, except you're going to contract and press into your feet, lifting up a little bit, squeezing through your glutes. You'll feel your low back engage and release. And moving up a little further, just engage your glutes. So squeeze your glutes. We need all of these muscles to recruit and contribute to assist in the strength of your low back. And relax your glutes. And now engage your belly. So navel up towards your spine. Reminding ourselves that when we are working your hips, working your legs, you still always want to be using your core so that the rest of the muscles in your legs can trust that they're safe, that they're not the only ones working. All right, and then relax. And we are going to lower down onto the mat, extending the legs back, extending the arms back, pinkies reaching towards your legs. Lift up through your upper body, pause, reach the arms forward, reach your arms back. Now noticing I'm not lifting up really high through my neck. I don't want to feel that pain. Do that one more time. Still a nice long spine, and reach back. Reach your fingers back a little bit more and begin to lift your legs. So now recruiting all those muscles. And release. Lowering down to your mat, slide your hands forward underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes. And come up to your hands and knees in this tabletop shape. So in our tabletop shape, we're going to take a couple cat-cow shapes. As you inhale, drop your belly and lift your chin. As you exhale, round your back and tuck your chin, drawing your navel to your spine. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chin. This time, pull your legs apart at your hips, creating space for your belly to drop a little deeper. Exhale, round your back, tuck your chin. Imagine that you've got magnets on your inner thighs, pulling your legs towards each other. And one more, inhale, drop, pull your hips apart. And exhale, round. Come back to that tabletop shape and just pause. You can reset through your arms if you need to. Making sure that your shoulders are underneath or right over your wrists. And let's extend the right leg back. Tuck your toes. Stretch through your calf, push forward and back, forward and back. Reversing through the toes. Sometimes we don't notice until we try how much we need that little stretch. And then just gently lift that leg up, not too high. If you go too high with your leg, you're going to drop your belly. So then remind yourself to draw your abs back up. And maybe extending out the opposite arm for a bird dog. Exhale, tuck elbow to knee if you're in that bird dog. Inhale, extend. And place both your hand and your knee back on the mat. We'll take those shapes on the other side. So inhale your left leg back, tuck your toes. And push forward and back, forward and back. And then just gently begin to lift your back leg. Remember to keep your core engaged. It doesn't have to be up really, really high. Extend your opposite arm, keeping your neck nice and long. Exhale, tap elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And then back down to your mat. Hold. You can take some gentle, organic hip circles. And just a couple more shapes before we come up to standing. So we're just gonna come up and face long ways on our mat, coming to a kneeling position. Find some comfort. If you have sensitive knees, you can roll up your mat or put an additional towel underneath your knees. And we're gonna take our left leg, this is my left leg, whichever side you're on, if you wanna be my mirror image, and turn that knee out to the side. So let's pay attention to our hip points. Hip points should try to face forward. This isn't always possible, but just to the best of your ability. And then place your hand inside your knee and open up. Pausing right here. You can shift forward and back, just opening through that hip. So remembering we're not turning into that, towards that knee. We're trying to keep square and open towards the sides of our mat. It's fine for the knee to pass the toe here if you're mobile in that way. And then inhale your arms up. Exhale, take a little bend over towards that bent knee. Inhale, reach back up. And exhale, bend away from that open knee, that open hip. The goal of yoga is not necessarily to get into that headstand. It's about accepting ourselves as we are. To love, well, you. Let's take those shapes on the other side. Opening up through your other knee. Toe turned out. Shift your hip points forward, keeping your knee open and gently pressing open through the hip. It's about uncovering who you really are and accepting that. It's about showing up to your mat with consistency. Maybe without knowing what's going to happen, without knowing exactly how it's going to feel that day. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, take a little side bend. You can just rest your arm. Sometimes when the low back is really tight, it's in the sides. It's in the hips. Inhale up and exhale the other way. Just a little side bend. And inhale to reach up. We're going to come to a standing position at the top of our mat. So being careful how we stand up. As we make our way to that standing position with intention, just pausing for a moment. Bring your thumbs to your low back, just gently press right where it feels good. Elbows draw back. All 10 toes are facing forward, and take a gentle and easy step back, a small step with your left foot. Square those hips towards the top of your mat. And we'll begin to gently tip, keeping all 10 toes facing forward. Now, if your back heel starts to go in, then just step a little bit closer. So part of back pain is having really tight hamstrings. So we're paying attention and addressing that as well. Keeping your back nice and flat. If it feels good, maybe you can breathe, you can go a little bit deeper. And if you don't have issues with sciatic in the back of, in your low back with that burning sensation. You can reach all the way down towards that front leg. It's fine for knees to be bent. Maybe it would feel good to hold opposite elbows behind your back. Yoga is about creating space where we were once stuck and allowing for recovery. Wherever your hands are, bring your thumbs back to your back. Slowly rise up until your back is flat, and then stand all the way up. Step forward, reset, and we'll go to the other side. So this time stepping your right foot back. Thumbs are to your back, all 10 toes facing forward, shoulders draw back. Tip forward with a flat back, heels stay grounded. Slight bend to your knee is welcome, or both knees. You can stay up a little higher as long as you feel that tightness and you're benefiting. And then don't lose the integrity of the hamstring stretch when you lower down a little bit more. So again, this time either releasing your arms or finding a bind with your hands. Yoga can also be about realizing that all those crazy thoughts in your head aren't even true. You can place your hands back on your hips. Come all the way up to standing. We're going to step wide on the mat. Your feet can be in a little bit more. You can walk them a little bit wider to your comfort. Thumbs are to your low back. Press your ankles out to the side. So you're almost going to turn your toes in a little bit, almost like you're being pigeon-toed. And then shoulders roll back, and let's gently tip forward into a wide leg fold. And then you can clasp your hands behind your back, letting your arms float up. It's about being healthy and accepting healthy habits into your life, replacing habits that no longer serve you with ones that enrich your life, that help you feel alive and awake and whole, and that help you move. Release your hands. Place them down on the mat if you can reach. By the way, if you have yoga blocks or anything to help bring the floor up, you can bring your hands back to your back, stand all the way up. And we're going to turn our right toes out to the right, or if you're just my mirror image, it'll be easy enough to follow. Point those hip points back to the front, and then we'll gently bend into the right knee, opening your arms to a T in a warrior two. Straighten through your right leg, lean through your right arms, and tip into a triangle pose. A little more movement here. This should feel so good. You can either take your gaze down towards your hand or up towards your extended arm. And then open back up, bending and sinking into your warrior two. Giving those hips some mobility, opening up. Straighten through the legs, bring your arms down, walk your feet together. Just take a couple side bends before moving to the other side, so lift your arms up. Take a gentle side bend over in one direction. Reach back up and a gentle side bend in the other direction. Reach back up, bring our arms back down, step your feet wide again, and we'll go to the other side. So the knife edge of your right foot this time will be kind of almost parallel with the top of your mat. Turn your left toes out so they're pointing towards the edge of your mat. And my body is not even, so this side's a little more difficult for me. I'm going to direct my hip points a little more towards the long edge of my mat. Bend through your left knee, very nice. Open up your arms. I hope this feels really good for you at home. If you take a look to your left, you should still be able to see your toes out past your knees. So we've got our warrior two on this side. Let that sink in, and then straighten through your left leg, lean forward, and tip into our triangle pose. Finding length, looking up, without judgment. One side's different than the other. We go through life unevenly. Most of us have dominant sides of our body that we use differently. It's about acceptance. Spin back open and bend through your left knee back into that warrior two. Take your gaze out past your left fingers. Whenever you're in a warrior two, for a little more strength, muscular engagement, you can keep this shape and draw your inner thighs towards each other. Almost like magnets, but your legs won't change. Okay, now straighten out through that leg. Turning back through center. Take your arms down by your sides, and we're gonna take ourselves back down to the mat into a seated position. So being just as careful as we get down. Swing your legs around. And lie back. Release your feet. Wiggle through your hips a little bit. Just make it feel good. We're going to extend one leg out nice and long. Hug the other knee into your chest. Just kind of floss it side to side. Hopefully feeling a little bit better now than when we first started out. Let that leg go long. Hug your other knee in. Knee to chest. A little gentle rock side to side. And we'll do that one more time on each side. So extend that leg out long. Switching. And this time, try to turn your ankle in and reach under your leg and almost hold the bottom part of your leg and rock it like a baby. I love this movement, but always being gentle. Maybe you don't love it and you would just prefer some stillness. And release. Switch sides. Hug your knee in and then turn your foot in. Reach underneath. Again, this is my sensitive side, so we all show up and meet ourselves on our mat right where we are. If it doesn't work to reach under your leg, be gentle. You can always reach on top. So good. Let go of that leg, place your foot back on the mat, slide your other foot in, and we are going to access a supine butterfly. So just wiggle so your spine feels pretty straight. Slide your feet closer to your body. Let your knees fall open like the pages of a book. So some of us, myself included, tend to really arch up through the back in this shape because it's initially kind of painful, but then just relax your spine down towards the mat. We're opening up through the sacrum, the lowest part of your spine. Let's place our left hand on our gentle movement practice is a movement practice, and you're doing the right thing. Release your hands. You can use your hands to close your knees, letting the knees drop towards each other, walking your feet out, and knees fall towards each other. So find a little shape, and you can just place your hands anywhere that it feels good. Let both knees rock to one side, so feet are wide, knees are towards each other. I know I said that already. Knees go the other way. Right, when you get to the side that feels best to you to exit this shape, just lower your knees over, push yourself up to a seat. We will close out our practice together. If you like this video, feel free to hit that like button down there, subscribe so that you receive updates and reminders about when new videos come out, and leave a comment about what you'd like to see more of. And until next time, stay simply fit.